Three Grots in a Vox is intended for a mature audience. This means there will be crude language and discussions of adult themes, especially if we're talking about tactical marines or Gabriel's Seth. Viewer discretion is not only advised but encouraged. All opinions are our own and often given for humorous purposes. Any advice is given largely for entertainment purposes and would probably be ignored. But if you do learn something useful, count it as a win.
Mr. Beef.
Hello and welcome to a Grotty podcast episode. Today we're talking about 11th edition and how it's treated us since the start. We're going to talk over a couple of the key differences and our first few games in the new edition, and then we're going to come to a bit of a judgment, because we're judgmental people here, about whether it's
Heaven
good
forbid.
or whether it's shit.
All right.
Great
So-
intro. I love it. Yes.
I mean, theoretically,
we've
we're
got
going to talk about all those things. Realistically, we're going to talk about a whole load of crap around it, because we always do, and this is the way. But those are the talking points. We'll try in some form or other to stick to them. Right, yeah, cool. We should probably be semi-professional and do the thing. What's the first thing?
Right, let's talk over the sort of core edition sort of changes and stuff. So, John, I know you put a few together.
yes.
Do you want to take us out?
Well, I mean, let's just start about talking
How many
about,
games of 11th Ed have you played, John?
11. 5 at a tournament, 6 in our little plastic crackheads league. I have a list made for games, I guess 7 in the league tomorrow. I am sitting top of the league.
Of course you are.
I think it's 5 wins and 1 draw, so
Yeah.
it's going pretty well. And the draw was my own stupid fault because I forgot a secondary.
How many different armies has Andrew played over the course of this league?
I think he's just played Necron so far, but he's probably getting his new army. Oh, and I have a new model. Did I tell you that I have a new model?
You did not? Oh, that's the middle knight,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the librarian dreadnought of knights.
Exactly, and the thing that sold me on it is he can have a spear in one arm, and he can have a chainsword in another arm, and I was like, and that gives him extra attacks, and I was like,
All right.
I need a new centerpiece model for my Blood Angels. So, here he is.
Very nice.
That took 2 hours. I'm
That-
not even joking.
Wow. Okay. To be fair, there's a lot of detail and a lot of complexity in the way the modern knights and kits
Is
like
it
that
going
are made
together
and
quite
built.
nicely though?
It is until once somebody told me that there was a typo in the instructions, it was going together a bit better after that. Yeah.
So I haven't built any of the new ones yet because, in fact, the old I built quite a lot of the older knights, the Castellans and Armigers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I built a few of the old resin ones, and they were hateful.
Yeah.
Weirdly, the Porphyrion was such a joy to build. It was really, really good. It went together so well. I was very
I don't believe you.
impressed. No, seriously.
making it up.
After the utter shit show that
You're a
some of the
paid Forge
Forge
World
World
shell.
kits were from, the Storm Eagle was the most disastrous, wholly gappy piece of crap I've ever made, and it's disgraceful that it came from Games Workshop. The Porphyrion was actually really good. I was shocked. Very impressed,
To be fair,
but also
the
shocked.
Thunderhawk wasn't too bad. It took me a bit of work, but it wasn't too bad. But I've been really impressed lately with GW's kits and how well they've gone together. Neither of you two got the Armageddon box. No, you did in the end.
No, I
did.
did. I've built a bunch of the Vanguard veterans. I've built both the speeders.
I thought I've only built the orcs out of the Armageddon box, but I was blown away by how well although the monopose, that was so clever the way that they went together. It's like you swap this bit, it looks totally different. And it was the way that to get the variety in, which is difficult when you've got so many basic infantry in that. The technical ability, the technical skill of designing those kits was mind blowing.
And to hide almost all of the mold lines the way they do these days, I'm so impressed with how they've come along leaps and bounds with them. Yeah,
absolutely. I have to say that the models in the Armageddon box are, certainly from Monopo's point of view, the best ones I've ever built.
good.
They are so good.
So after we looked at the models and the units that were going to be coming in there, we poo-pooed a lot of them for inclusion in a modern army. Have either of you run any of them in an 11th Ed list? Included them?
It took the speeders to the tournament. I think they're overcosted. I
I found the same.
struggled to get value out of the speeders. It's just like, it's one shot from a las cannon, and now because of the new cover rules, most of the times you hit on 4s. So if you've got one las cannon hitting on 4s and you've got a couple of multi-meltas hitting on 4s, don't expect much. Doesn't feel like it's worth 105 points.
That was my impression as well. I think they're probably worth, if they were 80 points, then I think they're worth it, because they've got no damage output either. Not really.
So ironically, they have a little bit of survivability, right? Like, I think they're T8 with 9 wounds. So you do actually have to hit them to kill them, but that's not why you would take a land speeder, right? You take it to like zoom around and like hit flanks and do damage, and it just doesn't do damage.
Just
it seems like
get in places and be in corners and cancel.
And my opponent quite quickly realised that they could just ignore it because it wasn't going to do anything. So it wasn't even any good as a distraction.
Yeah. So I've started building the Vanguard veterans. I'm not convinced yet, but I'm going to try them. Yeah. And then I just wanted. I feel like so having played 11 games, I feel like we still badly need Vindicator tanks. Because I played Catan twice and Knights a couple of times, and if I'm playing regular Blood Angels without fire support, I just can't kill those things, right? Because it's like you only ever wound them on 4s. So if you ever roll slightly below average and they slow roll slightly above average, then you've just lost the game, right? Like potentially in one charge you just lose the game because your whole unit of like Sangre Guard fly in, they do 4 damage to Knight, and you're just like, oh my god, that's like ruined me.
Which raises an interesting point, though, which is that it's been, a month or 2 now since Armageddon, and there's still no official word on the release date of the new Codex Space Marines or Orcs actually hitting shelves, is there?
I've heard a rumour that Orcs is supposed to be getting this weekend they'll be telling you when Orcs is up for pre-order, apparently.
Yeah, I heard a sort of extension on that because it was already supposed to be, Orcs was already supposed to be out, and they've had a problem with it from a logistics point of view, and they've delayed the launch. That's why it suddenly all went really quiet, because it was supposed to more or less come out with the Deathmire thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Now this is all rumory stuff, but it would line up with why it suddenly went very quiet at the end of Armageddon, because usually you would expect to have gotten the first Codex kind of like a month or so after the box set.
That makes a degree of sense.
But I think because the Orcs is first, there's a problem with the Orcs that's been delayed, and that's pushing everything back. But to be honest, I don't know about you, John, but I've not really found that I'm missing a Codex at the moment. I think when it comes, I'm going to lose my Vindicators, and then I'm going to cry. So,
I think the biggest takeaway that I've found maybe is our AP feels out of control, right?
Yeah.
Any unit that doesn't have an invulnerable save, even tanks saving on, like Vindicator tanks saving on 2s, before you know it, you're not even getting to roll saves against, or you're only saving on 6s. Tanks that are things that are saving on 3 up, far too many times. Like, I was at this tournament 5 games. I never think in a single situation, like my intercessors, 1 died. It was like every time they were targeted, the whole unit's gone. It's like, because you're not getting cover saves anymore, the second they hit you at like AP2, it's deadly. It's absolutely deadly. But the same thing goes on the other side, right? I was running Blade Guard with a Sangre Priest. When they are fighting stuff that doesn't have invuln saves, AP3, it's just like they are just chewing things up, right? Like, it's just crazy.
And on the flip side, I found things with invuln saves to be fucking brilliant. Like, going back to Blade Guard this edition so far have been really strong.
I think that's why Terminators, like one of the best Blood Angels lists, I think, is running 10 Terminators. And I saw the tournament I was at, right, had this cool Iron Hands list. The guy finished like just outside the top 5, and I looked at his list because I was like, oh my god. So he's got 10 Terminators, and he's got like the Ancient and the Librarian with him, right? So he's got,
is that one big blob or 2 units 5?
Yeah, no, 10 with a Librarian and an Ancient. So it's like 24 OC, sustained hits on all the bolters, sustained hits on all the melee. The second you lose 1 guy, you get +1 to hit from the Ancient. The second you go to half strength, you get +1 to wound from the Ancient. And then he's got it's the Iron Hands character, the new one, like Kantok Var or something.
Okay.
Do you know this guy? He's a new Iron Hands character that lets you move the oath. So the Terminators get +1 to hit against the oath target. He also gives them +1 to wound because they're not Ultramarines. So you get +1 to hit against the oath target, +1 to wound, and then he lets you move the oath, and he has an enhancement on the Terminators, which are already 24 OC, that you can bring one back to life every turn. And he also has a stratagem on the Terminators, which you can make them -1 damage. So you've got like these Terminators that are -1 to hit, -1 damage, reviving every turn, 24 OC. So he's just standing in the middle of the board and be like, "Yeah, do your worst. I'm gonna."
Tony needs a tissue right now. Hearing about this Terminators.
Yeah. Well, even in Blood Angels, so I'm running lag because I like lag. I've always liked lag.
Yeah,
and that's taken hold. And I'm finding that my 2 little units of Terminators with the chaplains have been brilliant because they still take a lot of killing for the impact that they can have on the game.
Yeah.
They absolutely hit like a truck. Anything with an invuln at the moment is good. So at the moment, I'm running 2 units of Terminators and a unit of Blade Guard.
I did write a list. I remember now.
What
did I say?
And I really like it. But everything that, like John says, everything that doesn't have an invuln is going to die, basically immediately. So I kind of feel not really worth it. I've run the Vindicators. I think the Vindicators are a bit overcosted in this edition. I really do. They seem to die a lot faster.
Yeah.
And I'm not finding that they're having the impact that they did in the previous edition before they're taken down.
Yeah.
But I haven't really got a good replacement for it. I've tried running Ballistas.
Right.
I've been meaning to. I just haven't done that yet.
Because the way that they can move a bit easier is appealing. But again, they're just not killing things quick enough is the main issue that I'm finding with Space Marine shooting at the moment.
So do you need to go up to the level of Gladius firepower in order to make a blind bit of difference then?
Maybe, but then I'd lose the melee punch. At the moment, the melee is doing the heavy lifting for me. Yeah, so I don't think that's... But anyway, so we've sort of gone off topic a little bit. We were going to talk about the sort of major changes first, weren't we? So I think we're talking about detachments at the moment, so let's talk about those.
Sure.
What are we thinking is strong at the moment? I still really like running lag.
Well, I think what I really like now is that maybe armyless creation actually has legs again with these new detachments.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's combinations in some of them that maybe just didn't work before.
Yeah.
And also, I suppose we should really combo detachments with force disposition because force disposition is as important, if not more important, probably. Because the 3 dispositions you're probably going to play as Blood Angels are Take and Hold, Purge the Foe, or Priority Assets. And I think Take and Hold, at least in my experience of playing at a tournament, which is Liberator Assault Group, is very, very difficult into certain armies. For example, I was playing Take and Hold against Knights, and they're just going to sit an OC10 Knight on 3 objectives. And now I'm okay. So there's almost nothing, unless I'm going to be running a bonkers big squad that has tons of OC. There's almost nothing. And Blood Angels don't typically do that, unless you're going to run.
I've found the same problem with Death Guard.
Yeah, they're probably they have a detachment.
They can stack up the OC on big units of stuff.
Death Shroud. Plague Marines.
Even Plague Marines, just great big units of Plague Marines can be a real pain in the ass to chew through.
Yeah.
And you're hitting it with things with very low OC, so your Terminators and your Blade Guards and things like that don't have particularly a lot of the AC. So you're like, I've wiped out most of the... Oh, shit, they're still out bloody holding me.
Yeah, I've been including Ancients for the first time, ever. I originally had an Ancient with my Intercessors, I had one with my Blade Guard, I had one with my Terminators, just because if you're going to play Take and Hold, then you need to hold. and you don't hold with 1 OC models typically.
So here's a question then: why would you want to play Take and Hold?
Because
it's simple. Like, you just generally hold 3 objectives.
Yeah.
So you're not adding, like, a lot of cognitive load there if you're new to the edition, right?
So for me, I'd have thought the simplest one would be Purge.
No, Purge
Just
is
kill
a pain in the
stuff.
arse.
Yeah, but Purge, you get royally screwed when you leave. Like, when you kill I don't know if you know this, if you have a unit with an attached character now, if you kill the entire unit, but the attached character lives on, like, 1 wound. Like, I was playing a game, I think it was against the Knights. He shot the Blade Guard of the castle and he kills the 6 of them. He leaves the priest on 1 wound. That means he does not get a kill, because the priest and the attached Blade Guard are 1 squad for the purposes of killing them. So it's like, oh my god, the Sanguinary Priest lived on 1 wound, that just denied you like 10 points.
Fair enough.
So,
Okay.
and then
So
he runs
I've been bringing a lot of battle line. I know it sounds strange,
probably a good idea.
but chucking a few assault intercessors or even regular intercessors, because they're quite cheap, just to OC things.
Yeah.
Has worked okay for Take and Hold. It's a simple one to play, and I find with the Purge just doesn't suit my play style. I find, I know it might be just because I'm a bad player, but
So
I
the
tend
list
to
I wrote,
overextend when I'm playing Purge to try and get the kills to get the points.
the list I wrote had a bit of a brick of an assault intercessor squad in it, because I figured out you could put 10 of them in with a librarian on foot and a sanguinary priest. That gives them, you got your 10 models with the OC, the librarian gives them the invul save, and the sanguinary priest gives them the feel no pain. That's pretty awful.
Yeah, no, that's really good. If you give them, like, whatever it is, lethal hits and lance on the charge, or just even lance, because they reroll all their wound rolls, right? If you find an objective, and the objectives are that much bigger now. That's a really great squad. I've seen some people actually running 2 of them. It's probably pretty point competitive, like 300 points.
So that would be 150 for the assault intercessor, 75 for sang priest is 225. The librarian is another 70 on top, so that's 295.
Yeah, but I mean, your 24 OC reroll all wounds potentially on an objective. Durable.
The librarian's a bit of a bargain at the moment.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He got put up right before the tournament I went to. I think he was 60 points, and like he was just really great at 60 points.
So I'm just running at the moment. I've got 2 little squads of standard intercessors.
Yep.
And a little squad of assault intercessors.
You're not running heavy intercessors?
No, I know I normally do, but this edition, because I've got no invuln, they don't seem appreciably harder to kill than regular ones.
Yeah, that's fair.
And because of the fact that they just die, I'm just bringing them as cheap as possible. The little squad of assault intercessors is fine for clearing chaff.
I wonder if there's an argument to be made for 2 blocks of 10 assault intercessors, both with librarians and sanguinary priests. Then
there is, 100%.
That'd be a nasty.
On Take and Hold, that's huge. You could just park 1 in the middle, park 1 on a side field objective, and then just say like, "Come at me." Because if they come at you onto the objective, then you just charge them and you just +1 to wound them. And then you reroll all your wounds as well, right? If you're on the objective. I can't remember the exact wording of the assault intercessors, but I think it's something like if 1 model is touching the objective, you can reroll everything.
So the wording is, each time a model in this unit targets an enemy unit with a melee attack, reroll a wound of 1. If that enemy unit is within range of an objective marker, you reroll the whole wound roll.
Yeah, so if the second they step onto it, you basically become twin linked.
Yeah.
With 40 odd chainsword attacks, 50 if you're charging, sustain hits there as well. Oath a moment to give you. Yeah, it's really good.
Don't forget really the sergeant with his. I think mine's got a power fist at the moment.
The sergeant with the
I'd go with the power fist.
The sanguinary priest will have a bunch of attacks with a chainsword, and then the librarian will have a force weapon. Did you guys see the buff the Blade Guard?
The buff the Blade Guard.
Yeah, they hid it away in like it's in like page. I shit you not. It's on page 63 or something of the Space Marine faction pack.
Well, what have they done to them?
You no longer get rerolls 1s of save or 1s to hit, and it changed when you activate it. It used to be at the start of the fight phase you had to pick reroll ones to hit or reroll ones to wound. Now it is either when you activate them or when they're targeted, you can choose +1 to hit or -1 to hit.
Yes, -1 to hit has been huge.
It's massive. Okay. Blade Guard with -1 to hit in melee, 4 up invuln, 5 up feel no pain. My goodness, like they will tarp at anything. Like a Catan, like normally Catan just eat us alive. It would be like I was in combat with a Catan for 5 turns. They're killing 1.5 Blade Guard a turn. They just can't hit them.
Has any justification been provided for that change?
I guess just to make. I think the problem is with the new way you fast roll saves. Rerolling ones was really awkward for the invuln saves. Because you've got to roll all your saves first, and you've got to allocate them out. And if you're getting precision, there was another layer of complexity on there, and it was
I figures.
It was super confusing. So -1 to hit or +1 to hit is a buff over reroll ones to hit, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think reroll ones to hit is a 77% chance, whereas +1 to hit is an 83. So Blade Guard just hit more reliably, and then the -1 to hit basically makes them like Sangre Guard.
Yeah.
So I like them a lot. So Blade Guard basically -1 to hit when you shoot them because they're all standing cover. -1 to hit them when you melee. So Blade Guard are a hugely good unit for Blood Angels right now.
Awesome.
What character are you running with Blade Guard at the moment? Because I've been tweaking around. I haven't made my mind up which is the best character to go in there yet.
What did I just put on
the last game I played, I put a captain in there for the strat.
So in my little list I put a Sanguinary Priest with one squad and a Chaplain with the other squad.
Yeah, the tournament I did Sanguinary Priest.
Oh no, hang on. No, I did Chaplain and Sanguinary Priest just with one squad of Blade Guard. That's
I don't know that the Chaplain's as important as he was.
He's still really good. +1 to wound when they charge you is really good.
Yeah. I've still got Chaplains in my Terminators.
And it's OC5. I played against Chaos Knights, man. Oh my goodness, Chaos Knights are broken now. They're so difficult. They're just going to -2 your battle shock the whole game. And because the second you fail one battle shock against Chaos Knights now, you're never getting the free auto resolve.
Oh, they're always pretty horrible.
Yeah, but you're just now every turn -2 battle shock, -2 battle shock. So having Chaplains is actually really nice because you're still going to be failing battle shocks with Chaplains because even with the Chaplains it's not OC7, Leadership 7. So it's the detachments feel like there's some growth again in army building. The dispositions...
Any particularly good combos in detachments you've run across yourself so far?
There's one that some people are doing where you get Stormlance plus Legacy of Grace. That gives every Blood Angels unit advance and charge and +1 to advance and charge.
I can see that.
I love that. The one problem is we don't have any way to get the Blood Angels keyword on Terminators. If we did, I would love it so much. But the only Terminator characters are generic Space Marine characters, so they don't cut. It's like a holdover from the old edition. I think you cannot get the Blood Angels keyword on Terminators, which makes no sense. But I guess Terminators and Codex Space Marine, all their characters in Codex Space Marines, we don't have a character in Terminator armor, so you cannot get the +1 to advance and charge on the Terminators, which I think would be amazing.
See, I never understood that, or at least I don't. Which is, don't by choosing the Blood Angels army, they all gain that keyword.
They
from
did
a
in a previous edition,
view.
Correct? But they removed that.
That was 9th edition. They did that.
Yeah, they removed that, I guess, in one edition. So you had to be picking units from your own codex, and because our codex is so light right now, thumbs down. There's still weird the Blood Angels captain and the Blood Angels codex. He cannot join Blade Guard.
No.
But he's the exact same loadout and the exact same abilities as the one from Codex Space Marine. The only difference is he can take an Infernal Pistol, and the one in Codex Space Marine takes a Plasma Pistol, but the one in Codex Space Marine can join the Blade Guard. It's like, what? So if you want to get the Blood Angels keyword on the Blade Guard, you have to attach the Sanguinary Priest. You can't get it from any other character because the Sanguinary Priest is the only one that attaches the Blood Angels Codex. Don't ask me, man. I actually emailed like that FAQ website at Games Workshop and said, "Are you sure this is how you want to work this?"
If they ever reply to you, I would expect the reply is, yes, rules as written says this is how it's going to be because we can't be asked to change it, and we'll change it if we do when we do a rewrite of the codices.
They'll fix it when we get our codex out.
I think they'll fix it when they get the codex.
Probably won't care before then because they've got so many other things to take their time.
Yeah. It's not that big a deal. I've played with a few of the detachments, but to be honest, I don't think any of them are any of the combos are strong enough. So I don't like the Stormlance one because I feel like by giving up basically, I don't think you hit hard enough with anything you can really take advantage of it.
No, I agree.
If you could put it on Terminators, then brilliant, because now the fact that I'm losing a bit of strength doesn't really matter because I'm punching everything at strength 8 or whatever anyway. But, strength 4 intercessors aren't going to do a lot.
No.
No matter how fast they're moving.
There's a general rule, yeah.
So I just find that you sacrifice the hitting power. Yeah, there's the
was there a rumor about was it increased wounds or toughness for Space Marines kicking around that I saw a while ago?
There is a rumor about toughness 5 Marines, but I don't know where it started or who's peddling it or what.
Okay, sorry.
I don't think so. But yes, so there's that new Death Company one that's okay. It's certainly better than the Codex Death Company detachment.
Could be worse, could it?
But I don't think it's as good as the Christmas detachment we had.
No.
Rage Curse, which is still pretty damn good, frankly. So
I don't think that there's much value at the moment. It's nice to experiment and try these things out, but I haven't really found any of them particularly good enough to warrant dropping.
Yeah, none of them leapt out at me as being obvious, clear, go-ahead winners and natural fits for each other, particularly.
No.
When I explore them. But I also didn't put a lot of time and depth into it.
It's a bit like the dispositions as well. I tend to play Take and Hold. I have played Purge, but I find that because I'm not a very good player, I get too carried away when I'm playing Purge the foe, and then I get everything killed.
I would say, on dispositions, I would say seriously try priority assets. It's leaps and bounds ahead for Blood Angels. It's like.
So can you summarize the differences between the 5 then?
Not the 5, but I can summarize the 3 that we typically go for, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Like Purge, you basically need to hold one objective that's not your home and kill one thing every turn. Take and Hold, you need to hold 2 objectives and more that's not your home every turn, which is really difficult to do into some armies, like when they're just going to stand like high 10 OC stuff on it, or Mass Guardsmen or something. And then priority assets is you hold 1 and you do an action typically on 1. And sometimes you might need to kill something, or sometimes you might need to hold 2. But on a bunch of the maps, you can get basically maximum points with priority assets for controlling 1 and doing 1 action. You're getting like 13 points a turn. So you can literally have like that big unit of Terminators sitting on an objective, or a big unit of OC sitting on 1 objective. You're doing an action on that objective with a lone operative. You're basically saying, come and fight me on my objective, and at that point you'll instantly countercharge them with anything and everything. Or you've got a couple of Vindicator tanks that will just roll out and then touch that objective to shoot into that objective. And that's going to get you like really consistent, like 10, 13 points a turn. Yes, sometimes you might need to go kill something, sometimes you might need to go hold something else. But having played it 1 or 2 times now, I'm like, oh my god, it's so much easier to score than Take and Hold. Because Take and Hold, I've got to be spread across like 3, and I've got to put units on 3 every single turn that I need to live, and that just doesn't happen. Whereas if it's like units on 1, I can be like, yeah, I'm castled up on 1 objective in my home. It's like, you have to come to me, and then I get to countercharge you, or counterattack on you as much as I can. And yes, I might not be scoring 15, but I'm scoring enough that you just can't leave me doing that, if that makes sense, right? Like, if you let me do that every turn, I'll eventually like whittle you down, and then I'll take the sides off you or something, right? So I'm really thinking priority assets could be the best for Blood Angels right now.
And what sort of things would you need to put or army build to be able to make the most of that?
well, I mean, the Terminators with an Ancient be good.
Yeah.
That 10-man Assault Intercessors you talked
That's
about
your
with the
holding
Ancient
stuff.
would
What
be
do
good.
what do you want to do the actions with?
Mephiston or the Combi Weapon Lieutenant or Scouts, or you could even do the actions with like a suppressor unit or something small that can probably hide behind the terrain and then essentially go to
All
ground.
cheap and mobile, basically.
Mephiston's been pretty good this edition.
He is good. I think it's like I've been using him in my priority assets list because he just stands at the back of the objective. He's lone operative 12, obviously. They've got to commit quite a lot to kill him, and then if they're within 12 of him, that means they're probably within threat range of my entire army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Interesting.
So I think if you're struggling, I would say priority assets seems easier to me than, and I think it's reflected in recent win rates as the people playing priority assets are winning more games than Liberator Assault.
Yeah.
Good tip.
Have you tried the Disruption and Recon or not?
Not yet, no. But Disruption's apparently performing really badly. It's the worst, apparently, for win rate. It's like 16% win rate or something. Like, it's supposed to just be undertuned.
Awful.
But I don't think there's a detachment we can get Recon with, unless I'm missing it.
I don't know that there is, to be honest.
I did look on the MFM. I could be wrong, but I maybe there is. Maybe that's a conversation for another day once we've actually played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give priority assets a try. I've done a couple of Purge the Foe and a couple of Take and Hold.
Well, I kept losing to priority assets. That's why I was like, oh my god, these guys are just like hanging out on one objective and scoring just as much points as me and not needing to. I played a Sisters of Battle player and it's like he's not committing anything, right? But he's just scoring 13 points a turn for having like one mortifier on an objective that I can't get close to. I was like, oh my goodness, this seems strong.
Got to get on some of this, yeah.
Cool. So let's keep rolling on then with some of these changes. The next one we've got on the list is the overhaul to the fight phase, especially pile-ins and consolidations. It's an interesting change. I quite like it, but I don't know about you, John, but I've found it slows things down quite a lot.
Why do you like it?
It's more tactical. You have to really think about how you're going to do things. But now positioning has become. It reminds me a little bit of Ninth. Do you remember when we used to tri-point things and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you remember that? And that used to take ages because you're like, oh no, I need to get him there and I need to get him around to there, and then that one needs to go around here so that he can't move to that bit there. And whereas I found like in 10th edition, it was more just like.
Yeah, there is a real problem with it though for melee armies, I think, because you obviously pile in everybody at the start, right?
Yeah.
So like if you pile in 2 units to 1 enemy unit, then you may have like you're piling in 2 big units of Sangre Guard or a unit of Sangre Guard and a Blade Guard. They're gonna kill some models, right? Yeah. And because both units have piled in before either one activates, the second you activate the Sangre Guard on the right, cool, they're just going to pull all the casualties from the left. They literally pull 5,
Gotcha.
So like I was actually finding it really difficult in Liberator Assault Group going into, I think I went in, I can't remember what I fought against. Maybe it was unit of Necrons, like a big unit of warriors or something. I go in on both sides, because I've got to, because everything's got to base.
Yeah.
I kill an absolute shitload of them, and they just pull all the ones on the one side, and it was like, all right, only one of your Blade Guard can fight now. And I was like, there's no way they can move, even though they made a charge move, right? And they were all in contact. No, none of them are able to move because they already piled in. And I was like, oh, fuck. Now only one of them is going to get to fight. That's, that's going to swing this game massively on me. So I'm not sure I like it. Maybe that's why people are saying like Combined Arms Blood Angels, which I actually prefer playing, is going to be maybe the future.
I mean, because it hasn't really come up with me, but I think that's partially because I don't think I've had to do too many multi-charges.
Yeah, well, I mean, the same thing goes, right? If you have that 10-man Terminator brick and they engage you on both sides, whichever side they activate on, you're just going to pull all the models on the other side, and then they're going to be like, haha, your other unit can't fight me at all now. Even though they made a charge move, and even though they were in engagement range, there's like 1 or 2 guys left. And yeah, you just can't move that other unit, which is crazy. And and there's also a really complicated fight first is really weird now.
Okay.
And
it seems almost useless.
It's useless unless there's been no charges, which is the weird thing, right?
Yeah.
So I was in a game where I made 3 charges, so those charging units fight first, and then Mephiston is not allowed to fight first, even though he has fight first. But if you don't make those charges, then he can fight first. Which I was like, I needed to get a rule person over and was like, make this make sense.
I mean, we kind of saw that coming when the rules were initially previewed and everyone went, oh, well, the Sanguinor's fucking useless now, isn't he? So, yeah, it's a weird thing that they've done with that. I'm kind of surprised they let it stand, to be honest, unchanged. But I guess when we get new rules for the models that have a lot of fights first, maybe they'll stop having it?
Possibly. What are your thoughts on... I was going to say fight first, combat... Oh, I've lost it now. Yeah, no, what was your thoughts on Blood Angels playing attacks for the fast-moving melee units? You know, Ultramarines don't pay attacks on Vindicator tanks. They're amazing in Ultramarines, you know? But Ultramarines don't pay attacks on Redemptor Dreadnoughts. They're pretty good, but we pay attacks on Jump Intercessors and Vanguard Veterans that, let's be fair, die to a stiff breeze, right?
Yeah, I don't see it lasting, to be honest, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
I don't understand.
Actually, I think it does make a little bit of sense, and it's along the lines of how Blood Angels are either winning everything or just down in the doldrums. They're never kind of in the middle, really.
Yeah, that's true.
And an addition where shooting and the terrain layouts and the new rules have been neutered to the point where mobile and fast units were in the initial way that 11th edition seemed to be panning out, going to be overpowered and really, really good at doing the missions and killing the enemies far more than shooting armies were previously. I can see why they might have thought that was a good thing to put that tax on there.
Yeah, but it immediately ceases to be a good thing once you start looking at the rest of the edition.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm not running any Jump Intercessors or kind of fast chaff like that anymore.
Yeah, I run 1 squad.
I don't find them worth it. They're not doing anything useful for me.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, people are always going to lead into what's good, right? Terminators are good, so people are going to lead into that. Blade Guard are good. But yeah, and
GW are incentivized to keep it mixed up and changing, because then people keep buying more things and more units. And if the composition of what's good at any given moment changes every 3 months, you're just going to keep buying more models. So, yeah.
I mean, Sanguinary Guard is still pretty good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Death Company still hit really hard.
Yeah, the usual suspects, I suppose.
But I don't see the point in Jump Intercessors at the moment. I'm not, because of the way that the dispositions in that work. I don't really need fast chaff unit.
Okay.
It doesn't kill.
Not even if you were doing priority assets, for example.
I don't know, because I haven't really looked into priority assets enough. But even for take and hold and things, they're too weak to actually take anything or hold anything.
Yeah, that's pretty much. You're right. Yeah, they don't.
So they don't do anything. They just fly around a bit and then get shot. Or if I would use them for actions, yeah, but most of the time I can get away with using a much cheaper unit of regular intercessors for the same action, or a lone wolf character or whatever, just running around on their own, or some scouts. So chaff units, yeah, absolutely quite useful. But with the tax and that we're paying on from the jump packs, unless they actually can kill something or are really tough, which none of them particularly are, maybe
they're too expensive to be chaff.
They're too expensive. And I don't think that they're really doing very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, a unit that with small tables and a unit of assault intercessors can move relatively quick anyway.
What's the cheapest random jump pack character we can have. Just
the captain and the chaplain are both the same.
around on his own.
80 points now, I guess.
Yeah. Chaplain's 80 as well.
Yeah.
Desk Company Captain 75. No OC isn't going to help him.
I could see running a jump captain on his own, maybe.
At that point, you'd almost be better just taking a Khalid's assassin if you're trying to score points, because she's
the Reaver.
She redeploys every turn.
Yeah. Would the Reaver or Phobos an ability to deep strike in be a useful one? I mean, they're not moving much after that, but they're like 45 points a pop.
Yeah. I mean, they could be.
Just a thought.
It's not the worst thing in the world that a Reaver captain for 45 points to do an action or two.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I think I hear a kid awake. But keep talking.
No worries, of course. All right. What do you think about it, Tony?
Yeah, like I say, I haven't run into the same problem that John's run into, but I think that's because I don't tend to do many multi-charges. My units are normally too bulky, if that makes sense.
Or focused, perhaps.
Yeah, so I very rarely charge in more than one unit anyway, so I've not really had too many problems with it. But I could see how it could be a problem and a benefit if used defensively. I don't think any of my regular gaming group would realise it. They're not the most competitive bunch. But yeah, I don't know actually. Now we talk about it, I do, and I have really found it much slower. Because you know, when going back an edition or two, you'd sort of, if you were doing some charges and stuff, you'd say, "Oh, can you just take a couple of those guys off or whatever?"
Yeah,
or, you wouldn't really worry too much because of the way that it worked. It wasn't really that important. But now you're really thinking every time, I'm going to move this guy to this point and this guy to this point. I'm going to move only this guy because I just find it takes a lot more time.
Yeah. Okay.
You
know, I didn't realise that the Lieutenant and Phobos armor had deep strike and was only 45 points. That could be interesting. Just for the cheapest action monkey you can literally have.
Deep strike and infiltrators and scout 6.
Yeah, but you can either infiltrate or scout now, can't you?
Yeah.
Or deep strike.
But you know, if we need something super cheap to do an action with, there's worse options, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Right, let's keep rolling.
Yes, go for it. On our list? What's next?
Fast dice and save allocation. We've touched on this already. I like it. It is fast, but it's made soul characters and units a lot tougher.
Right.
Like, massively tougher now.
Why?
No, I mean, while the bodyguards are alive, they're quite a bit tougher, yeah.
Okay.
Just because of the way you allocate your saves. So effectively, when you roll all your dice, you put them in order, so lowest to the highest. So what that means is that if you've got a bodyguard unit, by the time you're rolling dice on your character, the only things that are kind of hitting it are saves.
Yeah.
So you find that whereas before you might lose a couple of wounds on him or something like that, now you find that he generally just comes through unscathed.
Fair enough.
And it's the same with just invuln saves in general.
Okay. Yeah, invuln saves are just very strong, I guess. The fast dice save stuff is, I don't think it's a massive change, but it's probably just speeds up save rolling.
I mean, people like their heroes surviving, so I can see why it's popular.
Yeah, I mean, it saves that weird thing where you have to slow roll if you've only got a few guys left in the unit, just roll them all at once. It's a good change. It's a good change.
I think it's a good change. I like it.
Cool.
Because what I found is I often now will just have the character left.
Yeah, that's much more likely. And speaking of that, chaplains are so much better now for Blood Angels when they're left on their own, right?
Yep.
Because they just keep their +1 to wound all the time. So a Terminator chaplain on his own, still +1 to wound. A regular chaplain
Still
on his own,
absolutely
+1 to
hammers
wound.
things.
Yeah, so it's just like before when they were left on their own, they did nothing. Now the Terminator chaplain, on a Liberator assault group or something, he's hitting at strength 8 with +1 to wound. Well, that's going to do something, 6 attacks or something, hitting on 2s.
The same with the jump pack guy. So what I'm finding is that my jump pack guy with the Death Company, they're all going in, smash something. Then obviously they get taken out again. But whereas before they used to all get taken out, now what's happening is the Death Company are dying, the chaplain's left on his own.
Yeah. And he's
and
still
it's come back around to my turn, and he's still good. And I can go and use him to go and smash something else.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm almost getting an extra turn of smash out of...
Yeah.
Good. I like that.
Question
That
about
good
the
for our
new...
purposes.
Have you built the new chaplain yet? I haven't built them.
No.
The new jump chaplain. But the interesting thing is...
Do you not?
There's... The rule for him having a power fist still exists as of right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I build them and don't put the power fist on him, because I guess they might simplify that with the codex. I hope they don't.
I think they probably will, or we might get a multi-part kit. I do wonder if we get a multi-part kit, because he's on a... Is he on a sprue with something else?
I haven't built him, but I don't remember an individual sprue for him, so I imagine so, yeah.
So the chances are then that we'll probably get another one, which might have options.
Yeah.
The last one we got that was Power Fist was the resin one, wasn't he?
So there's only ever been one plastic jump chaplain,
which is the Blood Angel one.
which is the Blood Angels one.
Who
Other
has
than
an
that, we've
Inferno
only had,
pistol.
Yeah,
Who has
and
an Inferno
Crozius,
pistol.
and no options.
but he's a beautiful model.
Oh, absolutely.
To be honest, that's why I've not bothered building the new one, because I've still got him and he still looks great.
And ironically, he doesn't give you the Blood Angels keyword either. Ah!
Seriously. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Really stupid. But anyway, so I do find that I quite like the fact that we have these characters running around, but I'm running a lot more characters in this edition than I was in the last edition.
I found that when I was building my list as well, it was just like incentivized to put a bunch of characters on all sorts of things. And I'm like, should I actually be running Angelic Inheritors with this list? I decided not to, but it was a solid consideration.
Angelic Inheritors is shit in 11th.
No, it's not. Get out of here. You've not played it since they buffed Sanguine Guard.
I thought it was shit in 10th.
Dante is really good in Angelic Inheritors now, by the way.
Yeah, figures.
Just because reroll ones to hit when you hit on 2s with +1 to hit generally means he hits all the time.
Yeah.
Even into -1 enemies, he just hits all the time. I think I played a game last week with Dante. I think every single time he fought, he made all 8 hits. He fought like 7 times or something.
Yeah, and the reliability is always good on that sort of stuff. Awesome.
Okay, so moving on then. Ingress. Deep Strike.
Yeah. Has that made a practical change?
Yeah.
A little bit more space to get models in. It's harder to screen because your models need to be within those 9-inch bubbles. But I mean, you still end up against armies that you can't screen. I played against Chaos Knights where they had 70 cultists on the board. So it's like, there's still no space in that matchup for me to put anything in. So
do infiltrators and the way that you can now no longer string models out in a fucking huge line, do they make any kind of impact now, or has that been drastically neutered?
I mean, I think infiltrators are good, but I think they're not 110 points good. Maybe if they're still 100. Because they, like I said, if you don't have an invulnerable save, you just die to Stiff Breeze now.
Yeah.
Even AP1 is deadly to Marines now.
Jeez.
I still don't like going for deep strike charges, but it is more reliable.
Yeah.
When you need it.
I don't know if it's been massively impactful. The Ingress with planes is also a bit weird. In that, like, the planes are just on the board, they shoot, they're off the board, they're on the board, they shoot, they're off the board. I feel like aircraft are dying a slow death in 40k.
I haven't played them yet.
There's nothing
I haven't
new
used
there.
them, and I haven't played against them.
Yeah.
But this is like from 10th edition. There was a month where they were overpowered bullshit, and then they were dead for the next 3 years.
That's where they are now.
overpowered.
They're good. You could see absolute minimum play from them in the new edition.
The last time I remember aircraft being good was when you could intentionally crash orc bombers or whatever. Remember the flaming bombers? And you do more damage by intentionally blowing it up.
Yeah.
Than you ever would by actually using it properly. So you used to just bring a couple of them, turn one, fly them over your opponent and blow them up.
There was a moment where the Eldar Flamer planes were pretty good, and then I seem to recall there was a moment when Storm Ravens were making a weird comeback for like a week and then disappeared again.
There was a weird combo. I think it was with Dark Angels that you could do something clever with Storm Ravens. Like layered buffs and things like that on them. But
until it got neutered out of existence.
Well, annoyingly, the way they did that was by putting massive points increases on them. Yeah. But they put the points increase on the bloody Storm Raven, and unless you were playing Dark Angels, it was fucking useless already.
Yeah, but curious to know when the first balance patch is going to be, really. Because I know we got one, but it was kind of like...
Well, they said they're going to do one a month, didn't they, for the first...
No, they said they were going to do one within a month for the first one, just to do a little cleanup thing, and then they'd return back to the once every 3-month cadence, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so I don't know where they'll go. Other little bits then, Hazardous is now Order 1 and 2. I never run Plasma anyway.
Yeah. I mean, for stuff like Mephiston, it feels a lot better only taking 1 mortal wound from a Hazardous as opposed to taking 3. It does make Deadly Escape feel much, much worse, I feel like. Because, like, you can just Deadly... what is it? Like, Desperate Escape, because you just take a Hazardous, right?
Yeah.
I think in Desperate Escape, it used to be a dead model if you failed it. Now it's just like 1 mortal wound. And then you can feel no pain that mortal wound as well. So it's like, you can just Desperate Escape out of any combat you want to be in. It's not a problem at all now. Normally you lose, like, a guy or something, you know, like, so... And if it's only, like, a single Marine character, he's only going to take 1 wound. So if you've got a jump pack, you don't want to be in combat, just jump away. You're still on 5 wounds behind a wall now or something, you know.
So does this mean you're now interested or up for playing Plasma characters or units, John? Because you used to... absolutely detest the idea of maybe losing a model with a hazardous test on a plasma gun unit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can just overcharge Mephiston, for example, both his weapons all the time. You can overcharge plasma characters, no problem. Like, 1 mortal wound's never going to be an issue, really.
Okay.
It has made hazardous less of an issue for things like Inceptors and stuff like that.
Yeah. Is it trivialized or just not quite that bad?
I don't know. I go trivialized.
It's a good change for Marines. I guess if you're running like a squad of guardsmen, when you were running 10 guardsmen with a bunch of plasmas, then it's much scarier for them, right?
Yeah, and on the vehicles as well. So things like plasma sentinels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which don't have a particularly large amount of wounds in the first place and really can't afford.
Yeah. But vehicles also desperate escaping. You know, like if you have 5 wounds left in your vehicle, you can just desperate escape. Even if you fail it, you're taking 3, you're absolutely fine. So it's a bit weird. Hazardous, it's a bit weird.
Okay.
It's a sideways move.
Yeah.
Overwatch, any visible unit can fire. Hasn't really
but it's also easier to avoid line of sight, right?
Yeah.
I think that Overwatch changes. I think that's probably why we're paying the tax, right? Because, like, I was playing against Eldar. They've got a unit of the Ghost, the guys with the Strength 7 AP2 flamers, whatever they're called, AP3 flamers.
Oh yeah, the Wraith.
Oh, yeah.
Wraith Blades, Wraith, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in the old edition, the second you move through their line of sight, they're flaming you and killing most of your squad. Now you just jump behind the wall where there's literally no visibility on them, and then they can't overwatch you at all, and you can just charge them. So it's easier to get into combat. Overwatch, you can play around Overwatch a bit more. You can't reroll hits in Overwatch, so you're not getting overwatched by stupid shit that just...
You could do some really nasty, silly guard things last edition, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And
But Overwatch with Flamers is exactly the same, so it's still powerful. And also, you can overwatch stuff that doesn't move. So there's no more of this, oh, my tank's on one wound, I'm not going to move it. I can still overwatch you. But then the flip side of that is the tank could pull out a line of sight or could pull away from the flamer, so it's fine. I think Overwatch change is fine.
I've not really found it make much difference, to be honest.
No. Monsters can now do tank shock. I mean, it probably makes sense that they could do it before.
Yeah.
And transports seem a lot worse to play, because if your transport's ever destroyed, you have to put the models out basically in base contact with the transport.
Right.
Which makes there's no more of this, like, my transport's getting destroyed, so I'm going to disembark everybody outside behind a wall.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to just disembark the closest possible, so all the unit could be exposed. And then the unit will be battle shocked, which is infinitely worse, right? Because you're not going to auto-resolve that.
This is quite a nasty change for World Eaters.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's because World Eaters rely very heavily on rhinos. In fact, they've got a whole detachment built around it, which is one I used to play. It's my favourite detachment. It's actually one that's got vehicle shenanigans. And it was really cool. But now, you used to not really care if you got your rhino blown up, because you just like, right, well, I'm going to put all my berserkers as far forward as I can.
I think you even extracted disembark them 6 when it explodes or something like that. Right?
Yeah, and things like that. So
I do recall you taking us through the massive amount of cheese you could do with your transporting.
World you can't be doing things like coming out of it and then blood surging or things like that. It really has nerfed transports, and I'm not sure that I would take transports anymore.
Yeah, a lot more people are just walking where they need to go now, I guess. It's the healthier choice, isn't it? Get out for that half an hour walking.
Get fresh air.
Absolutely. Yeah, fair.
Get the blood flowing before you go for it. So that's kind of the major changes. I don't think we've missed any sort of like big changes there that have kind of made a kind of major difference. But so we've got a few sort of questions on here. Faster or slower than 10th? What do we think? Faster games?
I think it's slower, but just because we don't know all the rules at the moment.
Or you're not as used to them, perhaps.
Yeah. We still have to check silly little things all the time. So
you found the hidden made any difference whatsoever?
You mean like hidden as in you need to be within 15 to shoot me?
Yeah, hidden units and that sort of stuff.
I mean, it's made a bit of difference, but it's like your positioning has to be so on point with infantry, because the second they have like fully visible one guy, then all that stuff falls away.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be interesting.
So I found that aspect of it means that it slows it down for me, because people are much more wiggling that little one man.
Probably.
Okay.
And also, you forget that you see a unit standing in the open. You move your guys, and then you realize, oh shit, I'm not 15 inches from them, so I won't be able to shoot them. So now I've got to move around again.
Yeah, and I find that wastes a lot of time. But functionally, I really haven't found the hidden hasn't made a huge amount of difference, because maybe just because I've only played Blood Angels in this edition.
I was going to say, if you played against like Necrons that used to pick your units off in turn 1 with 72-inch ghost arcs, then yes, it has made quite a bit of difference to that bullshit. So in some ways,
I find I'm close enough that it's not really come up so much.
Yeah.
I'm pretty quickly within 15.
Yeah. It's been that way since the board size has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think this would be more impactful if we were still using the old 6x4 boards.
Probably.
Mark, what do you think? Faster or slower now? Have you played any games of 10th yet? Oh, sorry, 11th yet? Or
not even slightly. I've been mainstreaming Star Wars Unlimited solidly, apart from a friend of mine is busy convincing me to get back into Adeptus Titanicus, which I am looking at doing because giant stompy death robots are awesome. I have, however, bought a miniature in that I've picked up the new Caiaphas Cain model because it's Caiaphas Cain.
Yeah, I've got him as well.
No, I've got no credible opinion to give on this whatsoever. No experience at all, I'm afraid. Interesting hearing and learning about it all from your guys' perceptions and experiences.
It's certainly a new addition. What got better or worse than melee armies?
I think it's better, except if you multi-charge.
Feels more like a wash to me, to be honest. Some things are definitely better.
Yeah.
But other things are a bit worse. So
I feel like the game is fresh again, at least, which is nice.
Okay.
Certainly, it's not boring. It's exciting playing new edition. There's a lot of new things to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I need to get more variety of experience in playing against things. I've played a lot of Guard.
Yeah, I'm the same. I need to get more experience.
There's a lot of Guard in my local group.
I went to my first ever overnight tournament since my son was born, actually.
This is where you said you played the 5 games, was it?
Yeah, and I actually stayed away in a hotel. It was September 2021 was the last time I did that.
How was the experience?
It was fucking magic. I got to sleep with no kids waking me up all night. I had a lovely hotel room. I had a lovely cooked breakfast. Yeah, it was absolutely magic, actually.
Did you agree for it when you got home? And
no, I think they were actually. I think it was good. I think I'll be able to get to another one.
Wow, cool.
So that was really nice. And before I went to the tournament, it was like sort of 50-50 because like I was more nervous that I just was going to fuck up some of the rules. It turns out that it was my opponents that fucked up in a couple of games actually. One went against me, one went for me, but I was more nervous that I was like, oh, I'm going to make, I don't want to win because I've messed up a rule or something that's like screwed someone over, right? But after the first 2 games and winning the first 2 games, I was like super stoked. I was like, oh yeah, I'm back. Like Blood Angels were back, and then everything fell to shit. But it felt good for a bit. Yeah.
I found Knights pretty tricky at the moment as well.
Say what? Sorry.
Knights. I know Chaos Knights are better, but
impossible.
Imperial Knights are still pretty tough.
I did beat the guy from Team Scotland that was playing Knights. So that's me played Team Scotland twice. 2-0, baby. Yeah, it was a 1-point game, and honestly, yeah, you say they're tricky. You know how I like preach on the channel, do not make 9-inch charges. Like, do not have that in your repertoire. Do not do that. I had 3. I had like a 9, a 10, and a 10, and 1 charge reroll, right? And I was like, oh, this game is fucking a disaster. I'm losing. Like when I got to make these 3 charges, I am losing this game. Like, it's happening.
Well, of course, now you just make the roll and charge whatever's in range rather than
I roll 3 11s in a row.
Doing so, yeah.
3 11s in a row, charge all 3 knights. And my opponent's just like, well, John, if you roll like that, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I am so sorry. He picks up my dice and rolls them a few times just to check they don't roll double. And I was like, dude, I use those dice every week on the stream. Yeah. Trust me, they roll like shit, just like anything else.
The point, isn't it? The entire thing about weighing up the risks of don't I try this risky charge, and I know what the odds are for it, is completely removed. Yeah.
Well, not completely, but certainly if you've got like castles and that you're going into, that's one change that I absolutely love. Yeah, because it made no sense. I'm going to come out of my aeroplane. I'm going to charge. No, actually, no, I can't quite reach you, so I'm just going to stand here
and ignore the unit that's closer to me. I'm just going to,
no, it's
thumbs or something.
That charge change is really good. Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah.
Okay, so next one on the list we've got biggest weight. That's not how it works anymore. Moment in your first games, John.
Oh, it's cover, man. It's like for the first 4 or 5 games, everybody who's shooting anything, we're forgetting how cover works. We're forgetting how hidden works. It's just such a big change on like the mindset, right? Like as a Blood Angels player, you had to hide every unit behind a wall, and now you can just touch an objective with your toe, and you're getting cover. It's just such a weird. Like I still sometimes when I'm deploying, I'm like, can I deploy here and not be shot? Yeah, I guess. It's just weird.
Consolidate for me. Pile-ins as well.
Yeah. It's the ordering is annoying, I guess.
Yeah. Always a discussion about it every time. No, we need to do that now, don't we?
Yeah. And there's also a weird thing now with consolidation where you could be in combat with one unit, but there's another unit closer, but you can consolidate away from them into the unit you're still in combat with.
Yes.
Because it's called like ongoing consolidation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like I was trying to say to Colin, I was like, dude, I'm consolidating into this unit, and he's like, but this unit is closer, and I was like, but I don't care anymore. And he's like, but you have to care, and I'm like, but I don't care.
Prove it.
You know. And like, you know, so it's like, yeah, that's gonna keep going for a while, where like people just can't wrap their head around.
That's been driving me mental. I can't wrap my head around that. Okay, next thing we've got here. Oh, we've got a question from Mark.
Oh, okay.
View from the outside. Does 11th sound easier to come back to?
Easier than what?
10th, I suppose.
So 10th was the reset.
You didn't play that many games of 10th, did you? You probably only played half a dozen.
No, I didn't play tons of it. But because it was a reset and fresh thing, it was kind of like its self-contained thing. I don't know. Hearing you guys talk over all the stuff that we've been talking about for the last hour or however long we've been doing this, it feels like a lot of these changes sound like they've been made for the sake of making a change rather than to improve the game, just so that they can say there's been some iteration from one edition to the next, and not necessarily doing it for the good or betterment, just for the sake of there being a change. Based on that, are the changes good, bad? They're a mixed bag. Does that make it easy to come back to? Not really, because I'm used to be playing in one fashion or another, and that's changed, and the rules are going to be a bit confusing. Having said that, I'm sure it'll all be relatively easy and flowing when I do start playing again. But no, for a returning player, this seems a little bit. What's the word I want to use? It seems a little difficult. Like there's barriers there that don't need to be. And the 11th edition has been designed for a new player coming in rather than bringing old and returning players back, is kind of my perception of it, really.
I fundamentally disagree with that statement, and I'll tell you why. I've been helping a friend get his kids into the game.
Okay.
You know, I run the club at the school now. I've not had time really to play much for the club at the school. But my friend's trying to get his kid into the game. And the fact that we've now got this old kind of situation with codexes that are completely out of date.
Oh,
still sort of relevant. No, you need that book. Oh, we don't want that book. That supplement over there, yes, you can still buy it, but it doesn't actually work anymore. I find there's this massive amount more confusion. So if you're a new player coming to the game, just completely you've got nothing. All those shiny robots look good.
I can see that.
Don't buy them because the codex doesn't work properly yet. Why? But this codex is there. I can just go and buy it. Yeah, but don't buy it. You know?
Yeah, I appreciate the point.
Or even worse, if you're talking about Space Marines or something like
that. Which is an argument for a full reset.
Where all the codexes came out on day one. That would be nice.
Oh, God, no.
No, but
we're in that little honeymoon phase, aren't we? Where you like the games come out, we're all working with the old rules. They don't quite feel right. It's a bit of a Wild West. Things are a little bit crazy. Then the codices start rolling out, and they're designed to be compatible with the new edition, and things very, very slowly change.
Well, this is kind of my issue, because
2 months before 12th edition, the final codex will be released. They'll have 2 months of life for it, and fucking.
With 10th edition, let's say I decide I want to get in. It's towards the beginning of the edition, and you can say, right, well, you like those shiny robots, brilliant. Well, the book's not out yet, but here's all your rules because they're all online.
Yep.
Go and buy your models. There's your starter set. Get on with it. Have fun.
And
there's your rules.
Everything's equally fucked as everything else.
Everything's equally fucked as everything else. And when your codex comes out, you'll get some more options. You'll get to do some sort of things. And hopefully, you've been playing for a couple of months by that point. You've sort of got your kind of basic feelers at the moment. Whereas now you have to tell people to actively not buy things. Don't buy that.
It's a weird argument and contrast that we're saying here in a way, because on the one hand, having a complete rules reset where all of the books and everything you own become redundant overnight, compared to they're still useful, but
I think that we've got two different people here. So as a returning player or a continuing player, this current system is better. You know, I'm not going to go out and buy another codex book because I know there's no point. But if you're a new player coming to the game, then the reset is better for them because on the same footing as everybody else, there's no confusion about what they need to buy. Talking of which, I really like those new kind of battle forces, but with paint.
Okay.
You've seen those? I think that's a great idea.
I've seen they're around, but I haven't paid much attention to them.
Yeah, so they're not expensive. And effectively, it's just the same as the old Combat Patrol. But it's literally getting started with Space Marines, say. It's your models, it's your paintbrushes, it's your basic paints, everything in a box. Tell little Johnny that's what he needs to get started in the game.
Fair enough.
Really like that. I just wish they wouldn't keep trying to sell books that are of no use to people for...
Yeah. Going back to the question, I think bottom line, it doesn't sound easier. It doesn't sound massively harder to come back to than previous editions, to be fair. It just sounds like it is.
Fair enough. So, last question on this list. Early verdict, is 11th an upgrade on 10th?
It's a side grade. It can be an upgrade if we actually rein in all the stupid shit from 10th. And I think stupid shit, in my opinion, is anything AP3 or higher should be capped at AP3. I would probably say we need to get rid of all...
Sorry, it's weird because 10th edition did that.
For like a minute, right?
Yeah,
like
when they did the reboot.
From AP4 to AP2, and then they just...
people bitched and moaned about how down-powered the weapons were compared to what they were used to.
But they left a bunch
because they were, and our Space Marines are still in that position, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they left like Volcano Cannons and Knights at AP5, Chaos Knights at AP5,
early
Melter.
Got fucked. Later ones, back to AP5s and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mind AP5 on a Volcano Cannon. You know? Volcano Cannon, Titan Killer, designed to be the biggest. It's not man-portable anyway. It has to go on a specialised platform. Yeah, okay, fine. If you shoot a Space Marine with that, he doesn't get to save on a 6 because he's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think general, like, tanks, like a literal metal tank, should generally always get a save, right? Like, we should... I don't care what weapon it is, like a melta gun. I feel like if you're shooting a melta gun at a rhino, there should be a chance that the rhino can save against a melta gun. It's not like a guaranteed...
I don't
same
like
with plasma, you know, like you get to a point now with plasma in Votan where they can literally put out like 30 shots at AP4 no cover. You know, cool. Okay, so that just evaporates everything I have, including tanks, including Marines. And it's such a bad feeling, man, when it's like, oh, my 10 guys got shot. Oh, it's AP4. All right, I don't get to save for any of them. Let's just lift them all and put them in the... And meanwhile, you'd have an army like Eldar, spindly little elves. They can all save that on 5s, right? Makes absolutely no sense. You've got these Space Marines in this hulking armor are supposed to be the elite of men, and the elves on toughness 3 can save, but the Space Marines can't.
I don't mind it. It's like something I don't mind high damage weapons, things like that, but I think it should be really scarce. You know, going back to your earlier example, Volcano Cannon mounted on a Titan, probably. Even against a Rhino. You know, if the Rhino can fit in the barrel of that gun, it's fair enough that it just gets obliterated by it. But the little man-portable plasma gun, well, that's not going to do that, is it? So I feel like there should be more dynamic range in there.
More granularity.
You know what I mean? So your AP5, your AP6, well, that's on Titans and Titan Killers.
Yeah.
They're not man-portable weapons.
So, like, a save should, in order to have that granularity or allow it, maybe a save should be on a D10 rather than a D6.
Well, that's a different argument. That's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. I'm never going to get off that. That's a hill I'll
I don't have an issue with things like getting rid of the -1 AP on a bolter. You know what I mean?
Another thing I think is maybe like for every 3 points of AP, you should lose one off your invulnerable as well, because I think we've got too many invulnerable saves kicking around, right? Like,
oh god, yeah.
Not being funny, but if a Terminator got hit by a Volcano Cannon, it doesn't matter that he's got an invuln; he's still evaporated.
Yeah. So if you're AP5, then surely the invuln save has to suffer, right? Like
but at that point, it should cost. Do you know what I mean? That's a serious... That's the turbo laser destroyer on the top of a Thunderhawk gunship. That's a very expensive weapon to be flown around with.
I think the other thing that I have big issue with is like the -1 damage as well, right? Like, where it's like,
I hate that.
Okay, -1 damage takes 50% damage from 2 damage armies. But
Yep.
against like a 4 damage army, it takes 25%. It's a side effect of playing with D6. We need better rules.
Yeah.
Like, I think -1 damage should be a 10% damage reduction at the end. So, like, your knight takes 8 wounds. Cool, let's go to the end. Let's take 10%. Let's round it up. That's what you take, right? So it's not like if I hit you with 4 2 damage weapons, I do 4 damage. But if I hit you with 2 4 damage weapons, I do 6. You know, like, it's unfair. It's not balanced.
I get you.
So
it's the same with 1 damage weapons that aren't affected by it, you know?
You know, like, sure, have a blanket, you know, reduce damage.
I hate that. I think that rule should just go.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Why not just give them twice as many wounds, or give them a feel no pain?
Yeah, fine. Just give. Oh, you're really tough. Right, give them more wounds then.
Yeah,
because the -1 damage is just stupid. It doesn't make any logical sense. It doesn't make any gameplay sense. It's just annoying.
Yeah,
mechanic for a mechanic's sake, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because Catan, you could just give them more wounds. It would be that simple. Or just give them a 1 better on their feel no pain, and it's the same, but it doesn't neuter 2 damage armies. And like, Blood Angels are literally a 2 damage army. I know you can run stuff with 1 damage, but like,
you can, but not really. It's,
you know,
it shouldn't be a tactical decision.
No.
So it'd be better running less damaging weepons than high.
It puts Custodes in the same position as well.
Yeah,
because all their weapons
they're
are 2
a 2
damage.
damage army as well for 90%.
Because they're designed to kill Space Marines, and Space Marines have got 2 wounds.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense from a fluff point of view, perspective. But having -1 damage doesn't make any sense on these Death Guard have got -1 damage. Why? Cut his fucking head off.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that rule can go. So overall, then
that's a bit of a mixed reception. Yeah.
I don't know that it's better. I think it's a bit of a side grade. I personally still think 9th was better than 10th.
Ooh.
And I think by extension, I think that 9th was better than 11th as well.
Yeah.
I did like the customization you could put on armor.
I really like that. And I know they kept saying about power creep and stuff like that but towards the end of edition, I started playing with some friends and we said, right, we're actually going to bin all of the balanced data slates. And we're going to play with all of the armies exactly as they are in their codexes.
Okay, interesting.
And it was really balanced. Because the problem was that when Tower came out, for example, they were overtuned.
Yeah.
And they were really powerful. So they had to have a nerf come through to bring them back in line. But the thing was, they weren't overtuned compared to the codexes that came just after them.
Yeah.
So it was almost like all those codex books were balanced, almost rock, paper, scissors style, with all of the other ones. So until all of them were out, you had this big problems with the overtuned or undertuned and things like that.
Yeah.
But once they were all there, yes, some things were overtuned, but they were really weak against this other army, which meant that you couldn't lean into that too much because little Johnny's going to come along with his Death Guard and you're buggered.
And then my perennial complaint, once they are all out, 11th edition is next week, guys. Woo!
Yeah. So I genuinely think that 9th was the better edition. I feel like that was peak.
Yeah. Do you know what's really funny in a way? Maybe I'm a moron for doing this. All the old codexes, like 8th, 9th, 10th, all the old cards, you remember you get the Blood Angels cards, they all sell on eBay now for almost face value. And I've been shifting all of them because I'm like, I'm never going back to play 8th edition. I'm never going back. Like, I guess my channel, whatever, I'm always keeping up with it.
You got to keep up with the cutting edge. Yeah.
But and because kids are expensive, I just thought, like, when am I looking at the 8th edition Knights Codex or Black Templar Codex or whatever, and just shift all these things on. If I can get $10 a book, I'm feeling good about things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in a weird way, Tony hits on a point in that, like, in those older editions where everything was out and there was more customization and you could pick your war gear and you didn't have all this nonsense.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good game, I guess.
Comparatively, if you're playing a tabletop role-playing game that's on like its 5th or 6th edition or whatever, if they're halfway through the release schedule for it, just go back to like the 2nd or 3rd edition where they've got a full suite of expansions for it. Everything's out there. There's a full set of rules. It's a complete game right there.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that'll be what, like, originally I was like, why are people buying old books? You guys it's just made sense to me right now why people are buying old books.
There's definitely people playing older editions at the moment.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good to hear.
I suppose.
And there's a lot of fan projects as well that are putting old edition rules on modern units.
Ooh, GW must be hating that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely despise it.
So this is something that's really interesting because do you guys both still have Warhammer Plus or not?
Yeah, I can that a while ago.
No.
Right, well I still have because I'm a.
And you still get access to the archives and all the old books that are in there and everything.
So the archives are getting really good. They're putting loads of stuff in there. They've got loads of the old Imperial armor, but they're redacting all of the
rules. Yeah, it's just setting only, painting only. All the rules are all gone. Yeah, completely.
And it's because people are going back and playing old editions of 40k.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah,
idiots. Oh well.
And there's a real big homebrew community that are putting these new rules together.
Okay.
Cool. Well, it's been a hot minute since we did a Grots video, so this has been good.
Thank you very much for tuning in and watching and listening to us rant and chew the fat once again. It is always a pleasure to do so with you guys.
Yep, absolutely. Remember to like and subscribe if you can. Do it responsibly. You only get a limited number of subscriptions.
I was going to say this year we're going for 10 million subscribers. So that'd be nice.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? We'll still keep different content coming out. Sometimes it'll be like this. Sometimes it'll be the more independent stuff. Sometimes it'll be all over the show. I will keep
anyone that's still here, watch Tony's last painting video because it's a great video and didn't get enough views. And if you're here now, you should have been here. Really good way of doing
checks in that, which I was quite proud of.
So watch it right now. Don't you dare skip it. I'll come to your house and I'll beat you up like that scene at the end of Jay and Silent Bob movie. Where he's like, did you not watch Tony's video?
And if you go on to the Blood Angels Commander Discord and say that you did and prove it by something or other, we'll shout you out, we'll give you some kudos or some special shiny name colour roll or something that we haven't really thought about yet. And I'm just riffing off this, so God knows.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, thank you very much for watching and we'll catch you on the next one.
Good night, guys.
Peace out.